Some journeys take us far from home, some lead us to our destiny, said C.S. Lewis, one of my favorite authors and scholars. Welcome to my channel, Xquistlife, and this is Exploring Tasmania Part 4. We pick up our adventure today on day 4 of my Tasmanian trip, where I make my way back from the western coastal town of Strahan to Launceston and onward home to Sydney. The journey back up from Strahan to Launceston was the perfect end to my trip and a culmination of everything I had experienced in Tasmania so far. I set out on the morning of day 4 from Strahan with no predetermined plan. I hopped in the car and I started driving north. It wasn't long before I felt compelled to pull off the main road when I saw the sign for a dam. I love exploring interesting architecture and construction. I'm at Tullibardine Dam in the western part of Tasmania. Tullibardine Dam is located on Lake Mackintosh, and it was so peaceful there. There was only one other car while I was exploring the area the whole time. The mountains and gorges around the dam were breathtaking and provided for the perfect backdrop to reflect on my trip as it was coming to a close. The only one here, it's beautiful, except for this duck. My drive between Strahan and Launceston was epic. I experienced varied topography, weather conditions, and vegetation. There is so much land in Australia, probably the biggest understatement ever. The road seemed to go on for an eternity. There were times I didn't see any other cars for kilometres, and this was probably the most remotest part of Australia that I have ever been to. Along my journey on the Murchison Highway heading north from Strahan to the city of Burnie, I stopped at the Helier Gorge and decided to do a small bushwalk. On my way to the Helier Gorge on the west coast of Tasmania, through very thick rainforest, not much of a path. Should be interesting. Huge ferns. It's quite cold actually. Ooh, there's two paths here. So, which one? Okay, well, I'm going down here. Ooh, okay. Here we go. I had been driving for about 2 hours through Western Tasmania when I decided to take a small break in the rural locality of Una. I stopped on a ridge and looked out on a forest of pine trees. I was in awe of what I was seeing, and as Ralph Waldo Emerson said, I declare this world is so beautiful that I can hardly believe it exists. Further along on my drive, I passed through the small settlement of Yola. I had to stop and check out the farm animals and see what they were up to. It was such a quaint little town with beautiful rural properties, and it seemed like an idyllic country lifestyle. Here is where I crossed paths with old mate Rooster. I can confidently answer the age-old question of why did the rooster or chicken cross the road. because he could. He had no care for other road users, simply decided to cut off traffic. It was terrible. I finally made it to the north coast of Tasmania, firstly driving through the city of Burnie and then Devonport. It was a beautiful afternoon on day 4 of my trip, and I was taking in the deep blue sea on a lovely coastal drive back towards Launceston. Driving from Devonport to Launceston on the Bass Highway, I caught a glimpse of the sign for the Tasting Trail, which is a signposted trail designed to assist visitors to sample the iconic food and drink of locations along that trail. I quickly pulled into the car park for the aptly named House of Anvers chocolate shop. This was a wonderful experience to explore the chocolate making process and history of this establishment through the on-site museum of sorts. After a quick tour, I walked out with some ice cream. Anyone that knows me well knows I love ice cream, and this wasn't just some random vanilla. I had the yummiest vanilla and a scoop of pepperberry and leatherwood ice cream. You have to go to Tasmania and try this. Hands down the best ice cream I have ever tasted. After polishing off that ice cream, I finally arrived in Launceston and checked into my hotel. I decided to stay at another one of my preferred spots in Lonnie, the Mercure Hotel. This hotel is great because it's within a stone's throw of the CBD, but right across from City Park, so one can go for nice walks in the park whenever you feel like it. The room is more than adequate, as you can see, and it has all the amenities you would need. It was fast approaching evening on day 4 of my Tasmanian trip, and I decided to have dinner at a local favourite, the Royal Oak Hotel. I had seen this iconic looking pub on my previous visits and made a mental note to come here. The food at the Royal Oak Hotel was really good, and I highly recommend you coming to check out this place on your visit to Launceston. I especially liked the window seating that allowed patrons to savour their food while engaging in the pastime of people watching. As I sat there having dinner, I couldn't help but feel so incredibly thankful for the opportunities and experiences I had on this trip. I was looking out the window and just seeing people from a myriad of walks of life going about their own lives, and I felt, even if just for a moment, I had a window into their lives, and I felt strangely connected to them all. I started to replay all the notable moments from my trip, and I was totally content. The only urgency I had was to share this with you all somehow. I headed to bed with a sense of peace and anticipation at the thought of the amazing trip I had, and also that I was going home to Sydney soon. My Tasmanian adventure had come to a close. There is so much to reflect back on. I had traversed a sizable portion of this island state, driving from Launceston to Cradle Mountain to Strawn, and then back to Launceston via Burnie and Devonport. Along the way, I had the privilege to see some amazing wonders of the natural world. I saw some awesome wildlife and sampled the best produce and culinary experiences on offer in Tasmania. I go home with so much more than memories. I take home a renewed spirit, benefited by the many and transformative experiences I had. I'll be back soon. Thanks for watching, everyone. This has been my video series Exploring Tasmania. If you like the content, please like this video and help the startup YouTuber to grow this channel and continue bringing you along for the adventure. I'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.